Isabel Ruff. Mercedes Pacheco,
Yes, sir.
I don't see you, I hear you.
Give me a minute. Alright. Do you see me?
I see you now. And
Okay.
Isabel Ruff,
Isabel?
you, but you're muted, ma'am.
Isabel? Isabel?
Yeah, that's rough.
Apparently Ms. Ruff left us and just left the picture on, so we'll have to.
I still see her photo there, Your Honor. I'm calling her right now to make sure she gets on.
All right, I'm going to proceed with Mercedes Pacheco. Ms. Pacheco, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Put your hand down, please. Ms. Pacheco, you were charged with assault bodily injury. Is this a family matter, state?
No, Your Honor, it's ABI.
Very good. Then, before we proceed, Ms. Pacheco, I need to inform you of several constitutional rights and protections that you have. One is the right to remain silent. That means you don't have to make any statements. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit written paperwork that has your signature, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. You understand you have that right?
Yes.
You also have the right to a jury trial, meaning you and your attorney could, with the state, could select 6 people from a pool of disinterested citizens who would hear the entire material, evidence, testimony, etc., and decide whether you are not guilty or whether you have been proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. That's the right to a jury trial. You understand you have that right?
Yes.
You also have the right to confront witnesses. That means if you go to trial, the state will need to prove up or attempt to prove up the case against you by submitting testimony from witnesses. You and your attorney would have the right to cross-examine, question, or challenge any witness who would testify. That's called the right of confrontation. You understand you have that right?
Yes.
After all is said and done, when this is all over, there is what's called a right to appeal. In that right, you or your attorney or both of you together could demand that a higher court review the official record and the evidence in this case for any legal challenge.
Oh, my phone's gonna die. My phone's gonna.
I apologize, Judge. She might have some connectivity issue. Mercedes, did you hear that last part with the judge? I love technology.
Ms. Pacheco? Mercedes Pacheco.
I think I heard her say her phone was gonna die.
Yeah, it still seems like her name and Zoom
I
profiles.
see her name is back up, but I don't hear her, nor do I see her.
Yes, same, Judge.
All right, well, the court will discontinue this process at this time until we reestablish some kind of communication with the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize again.
Anybody else need to report? All right. I guess we'll relax a little bit, Patty.
Mr. Hicks, Bob Hicks.
He's chatting or something. He's muted.
Judge, can you check to see if you've received the paperwork for Patricia Amaya, Bob Hicks's client?
I have one from you, Patricia, on
Okay.
Ms. Amaya. Consent to plea by video conference. Waiver of constitutional rights.
That should be Ms. Maya's paperwork, Judge.
It is.
Yay.
Bob, have you guys signed the plea agreement from the state?
A plea agreement from the state? I haven't gotten one.
Let me double check.
I have a plea offer that they typed out and sent me, but it's not, doesn't require signature. I signed, I think, everything that you sent me because I got to the blue and said, you're finished. Click to submit. Little blue thing.
Could I,
Okay, I was out of the room for a second, but Ashley asked if the Amaya paperwork had been completed, and no, the obstruction packet and the plea agreement are still waiting on Bob Hicks' signature.
Well, wait a minute.
approach Judge?
Oh, you're right. Patricia, we're not finished. I'll call you back.
Could I briefly, Judge?
Yes.
All right. I came earlier on a Michael, I was here at 9:15 or something, on a Michael Battalion. And I tried to confer, but I could never confer with the state. My secretary told me, did he show up?
What's your case number, Cornelius?
668-194 and 668-193.
668.
No, he did not appear.
Oh, I think he tried. Yes. Is it any way, Judge? I don't know. I think he tried to reach out to my office. Is there any way I can just, you said, give me a week, get him in here and see if I can get something resolved on this deal?
That's my standard procedure is I'll wait 1 week before I issue a warrant.
Okay. Okay. So I don't need to set it. I just need to just come back, or could I?
November 4th. CC.
November 4th?
Yes, sir.
I'll come back November 4th with him. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll be excused, Judge.
Well, Cornelius, you were on time today.
Yeah.
You were early. And
Early,
and your client didn't show now.
Yeah, see? That's bad. That's a bad omen.
Let it be known that the Supreme Court of the United States of America, that Cornelius Cox was on time and his client didn't show.
I'm there holding up the pillars, Judge. Holding
I
the
have a little
pillars.
sign put on there behind you.
Yeah, I'm put. Oh, you see that, huh?
Take care of yourself.
You see it? That's the scales of justice, Judge.
Yes,
Every
sir.
time I appear, like a halo, some people have angels and they have halos. I have the scales of justice that kind of follow me around.
I hear you. Very good. I'm
Thank you.
impressed.
Thank you.
I'm impressed now. That's even better than an angel's halo.
Yeah, you see that? Thank you, Judge.
Take care.
Take care.
Stay
Bye-bye.
safe. Anybody else need to report in?
Judge, what happened to Dante Dominguez's client?
I'm here and I've been trying to get a hold of her, and I don't know if she's having technical difficulties or if there is another issue on it. I certainly apologize.
You're talking about Isabel Ruff, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she froze on us and gone pa
And you know, I can't get through to her either, and I apologize, Your Honor.
Sir, I'm back on. It's Mercedes. I'm sorry.
My office has been able to maintain contact with her, so this is strange to me too.
All righty, well, all right, we'll continue with the plea on Mercedes Pacheco.
Oh my God, finally, I'm sorry.
Yes, Judge. It's okay, Mercedes. Just give him Judge a second.
Okay.
All right. Now, I was talking to you about your constitutional rights and protections. We'll continue from that point. Do you remember that I was telling you that you had a right to a jury trial?
Unmute Mercedes.
Okay, yes. I remember everything you told me. I'm sorry. It's just my phone had died.
Do you recall that I told you that you had a right to a jury trial?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you recall that I told you you had the right to confront witnesses?
Uh-huh. Yes.
That means that you and your attorney, if you decided to go to trial, the state would have to prove or try to prove their case against you. And to do that, you'd have to submit witnesses. You would have the right to, you and your attorney could cross-examine, question, or challenge any witness who would testify. That's called the right of confrontation. You understand you have that right?
Yes. Yes.
When all is said and done, you would have the right to appeal. That means that you, your attorney, or the two of you together could demand that a higher court review the official record of this proceeding and the evidence and for any legal challenge you wanted to make. Now, the right of appeal is a difficult or a technical one. You'd have to be careful about time limits, have to be careful about the form and substance of the documents you submitted. Nonetheless, there is such a right. You understand you have the right to appeal.
Yes.
You also have the right to demand that this proceeding be held in open public courtroom. Because of the COVID pandemic, you and the state, by the way, both have that same right. Because of the COVID pandemic, we're not doing that. What we're doing instead is video conference. And to do that, you had to review and approve a document titled Consent to Video Conference. Do you recall that you and your attorney reviewed that document and signed it?
Yes.
Now, in conducting this hearing, this proceeding, you also reviewed other documents and signed them. Did you understand the documents that have your signature and that are in this proceeding? Did you understand what it said?
I read through it. Yes.
Did when you read through it, did you have the assistance and the guidance of Mr. Rene Munoz, your attorney?
I just read it on my own on the email that he sent me.
Do you have any questions that have not been answered?
Not at this time.
All right. Now, among the papers that you signed are included a very important one that says it is titled, first it identifies you, then the title is Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions. It is an extensive document. It reviews the different rights and protections that I have been talking to you about, but this is in writing. You remember reading those in writing?
My last court date, I think. Yes.
Do you, the rights and protections that you have been provided, I have talked to you about them. Do you know, you yourself, do you know whether the document you signed in writing tells you about those rights and protections?
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. In the document, it's got 14 numbered sections or paragraphs. It tells you, among other things, that the deal that you've made with the state, I am not bound by it. As the judge, I have the authority and the responsibility to accept it or reject it. I must say yes or I must say no, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
I also can give you any punishment in the range of punishment, the proper range for assault, bodily injury, or whatever you plead to. If I give you a punishment within the range, but heavier than what you agreed to, or if I reject your deal, the law would allow you to start all over again. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Now, there's another document that is again identifies you, and it is a certification that I make as the judge. I certify to you that the right of appeal that we talked about a while ago, you do not have a right of appeal because you're making a plea bargain. In other words, you can't make a deal and then say, no, I don't want the deal anymore. It's one
Right.
or the other. You understood that?
Yes.
And you signed it. Now,
Yes.
state and defense, is this going to be a regular probation or a deferred?
She applied for a deferred adjudication, Your Honor.
All right.
That's correct, Judge.
Ms. Pacheco, a deferred adjudication is a very beneficial form of probation. Mr. Munoz has gotten you the best deal that you can when you get a probation. Deferred adjudication, among other things, means that whatever sentence you get, you will not be found guilty so long as you live up to 100% of the conditions of supervision. If you fail or refuse to live up to the conditions of supervision, then what will happen is the state may ask me to give you official notice, bring you in here for a hearing. At which point, if I believe it is appropriate, then I will find you guilty. You'll have a final conviction that will follow you the rest of your life.
Oh, no.
If you do
I understand.
if you do everything you're supposed to, the case will be dismissed and you will not have a conviction. You understand that?
Yes, sir, I do. I do.
If you come in here and you mess up and I go ahead and enter a finding of guilt, if I convict you, then you'll be looking at 100% of the range of punishment. Is this going to be reduced or anything?
Understanding, Judge, it would just be the assault bodily injury class A.
All right, that's class A, right?
Yes, Judge.
That means a punishment from $0 to $4,000, and jail from 0 days to 1 year. So you got to be extra careful and make sure that the beneficial deal that Mr. Munoz has gotten for you, you don't blow it. All right?
Right.
Then to the charge of assault bodily injury, how do you plead, ma'am?
I guess, well,
Remember,
guilty.
Mercedes, we had the options of guilty, not guilty, no contest, and we discussed that no contest would be in your best interest. You recall that?
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. You can tell the judge.
Okay, Judge, no contest.
All right. A plea of no contest is considered a guilty plea by this court, and I could convict you just based on that. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Now, did anyone threaten you or intimidate you or promise you anything other than the plea bargain in exchange for your plea of no contest?
No, sir.
All right. I accept the plea of no contest. I find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, but I do not find you guilty. Instead, I am accepting and honoring the agreement that you have made with the state. Specifically, you are granted deferred adjudication. State, what is the length of the deferred adjudication?
12 months, Your Honor.
12 months deferred adjudication. Recite for me on the record the other elements of the punishment and conditions.
Yes, Your Honor. $300 fine plus court costs. My understanding is the defense attorney is going to ask for that to be probated. 24 hours community service. No contact with Myrna Flores, MIRNAFLORES, and complete APSE.
Say what? APSE?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Pacheco, how do you make a living?
Right now I'm just babysitting, and I babysit my sister-in-law's kid while she's at work, along with my daughter. My last job of employment was a housekeeper.
Okay. All right. Then you are granted 12 months deferred adjudication. You're fined $300 plus court costs. I will probate the $300, meaning if you behave yourself and stay out of trouble, you finish the deferred adjudication, you will not have to pay the $300 fine. Now, don't
Thank you,
forget,
Judge.
Thank you.
it's not over. You got to live up to every 100% of the conditions of supervision. You will perform 24 hours of community service restitution. You'll have no contact with Myrna Flores. You'll complete the APSE anti-anger program. Your supervisory fee will be the minimum, which is $25 a month.
Okay.
Thank you.
Questions, Ms. Pacheco?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Munoz?
No, Your Honor, and thank you for working with us on the fees and the amounts, as she is raising a small child. But we have nothing further, Judge. We appreciate it.
Well, you've advocated properly for your client. I respect that and I appreciate it.
Of course.
Ms. Pacheco, do not leave. Stay here in this hearing. You will be placed in a meeting with Ms. Maricela Luna.
Your Honor, it's gonna be Ms. Diaz.
Okay.
Ms. Luna had to go.
All right. There's a young lady named Diaz. She's going to talk to you and explain to you what you need to do to get the probation going. At the probation department, they're going to read to you all the conditions. You will sign them. They will put a copy in your hands. Now, you have 1 week starting today to come to the offices of Bexar County Court at Law Number 5 so you can have your thumbprint placed on the official documents as required by law. You understand?
Yes.
All right. Then at this time, this concludes this particular proceeding.